I'm Cameron Dobbs. I grew up in a family of 5, a family of faith, and a family of football. I spent 18 years of my life screaming on the sidelines for my brother, attending Auburn football letterman events with my dad, and painting up in the Auburn student section with my sister. The last 4 years as a broadcast journalist in Miami, I have spent my time studying the athletes on the field. Now, I want to merge the two. The pride I know all football fans have, and the teams who make the whole show run. My goal? Aiming to find out who has the best college football fan experience in the state of Florida out of the big three: the University of Miami, Florida State University, and the University of Florida. Despite the fun footage, I'm not messing around. I've got a game plan and a grading system to analyze the experience. We will study 5 main things: pregame festivities, tradition, loyalty, student sections, and the appreciation of fans. All while considering the conditions, what might bring fans to or keep fans away from the stadium that weekend. You'll see it all, and I'll do it all. I'm Cameron Dobbs, and this is Cam on Campus. We start our college football fan experience on the beautiful campus of the University of Miami in Coral Gables, Florida, which is actually home for this Hurricanes alum, grad student, and Canes volleyball coach. The countdown towards kickoff is on, and at noon today, number 24th ranked Miami faces Michigan State, a non-conference opponent who is unranked yet undefeated. But with only a few hours left until the game, campus is nearly a ghost town. Why? Because home games for the Hurricanes are at Hard Rock Stadium, which is 25 miles away from campus. This is condition number 1 for the Canes. Don't get me wrong, playing at an NFL stadium every Saturday of your college football career, and then maybe playing at that same NFL stadium every Sunday of your NFL career, that's pretty cool. But asking your students and local fans to all have to endure an hour-long commute, even to home games, not as cool.
Condition number 2 is Miami's unforgiving fans. Hurricane fans are harsh, to say the least. They are the few supporters who will actually boo their own team. Depending on how the game goes, the Canes may or may not stay for all of game day. Condition number 3 is the coronavirus pandemic. This is a common condition for all campus visits. At Miami this weekend, the stadium is at full capacity with masks not mandated for fans. Still, it is a safety precaution that might keep numbers down.
And condition number 4, it really is hurricane season. With scattered thunderstorms on the forecast for this afternoon, I've got my poncho packed, and we'll have to see just how loyal these Canes fans are in case it starts raining.
Arriving at Hard Rock Stadium, I see the cheerleaders getting in formation and crowds gathering in a sea of orange and green for Miami's Cane Walk. Excitement rises as the band kicks off the morning. Seen throughout, selfies taken, kids catching a glimpse from above, and apparently, this go. And after a big Canes cheer, the buses pull up in typical Miami fashion.
One of our traditions is we rock the bus. So wherever we pull up, whether it's a away game or home game, you're going to see the bus just swaying back and forth. Oh, I'm getting a chill right now, Cam. I swear, man.
Led by Hurricanes head coach Manny Diaz, the team walks through the crowd, interacting with fans and hugging their families. And just 5 minutes later, the buses pull away, the crowd dissipates, and it's tailgating time. On my way to the tailgates, I ran into the Sherrill family, who gave me a hint of who Hurricane fans are.
If I was to show you a picture of my pool, when we built our house, I have a U in the pool.
We really do. We have a U mosaic in our pool.
If that's not passionate, I don't know what is.
Passionate is a great word for Miami fans. And if you thought the pool was cool, check out this truck. Covered in Canes decals, the C4500 Chevy truck shows Sebastian, Miami flags, turnover chains, and championship rings. And longtime Cane fan Jeff Broughton's reason for it, you ask? Simple.
Been coming to the games, wanted to be the top guy, so I did it.
And it wouldn't be a Miami tailgate without the touch of Cuban culture. Dominoes dealt, cigars smoked, dancing everywhere, and basses bumping.
Grab you a shot. If you ain't got one, grab you a shot right now.
And by the looks on everyone's faces, apparently this is normal too. But there's one more key piece of Cuban culture at Canes games.
We got croquetas de jamón right here. We got
de guayaba, queso, and carne.
And tell me, I mean, you guys have this food rather than the typical burgers, hot dogs. Why the Cuban food?
Because it's Miami.
this is the culture, baby. This is the culture.
Can we all taste something?
You gotta join out.
We
You
gotta
gotta
do a
give
little
us-
taste
yeah, you
test.
gotta-
So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, go Canes.
Amazing.
Can't beat it.
That's classic Miami tailgate staple. Guys,
we
I
do
love it. Let's head into the game.
Let's
How about
do
it?
it. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
From the smoky start in South Florida, the stadium is electric. And just like the players, these fans come prepared. From flying flags and painted props to apparel. And we aren't just talking about sports jerseys and school logos. No, Saturdays are practically costume contests for the Canes. And all attendees, all ages, are competing for the biggest Miami fan status. It's like Halloween at Hard Rock every weekend. And just when you think you see a crowd of normal outfits, well, think again.
I think they've been consistently just the crazy fans. Like back then, people were like, your fans are crazy. And to this day, they're like, yeah, your fans are super crazy.
I don't know if the Canes are crazy, but one thing's for sure, they are committed. And dressing to the nines in the 305 is more than a gimmick. For Canes fan Carlos Camacho, it is simply his Miami pride on display.
I bleed orange and green. I don't care until the day I die. They can lose every single game. I'll still be here, root for them, and I just love them.
But the love for the Canes is nothing short of tough love. Mr. Miami himself couldn't agree more. Dale McLean is not only a Miami grad, but the MC for Hurricane games at Hard Rock. After years of witnessing games, he speaks to the Canes culture. And it's not just the football they comment on.
Well, I think Miami's best described as no filter. They keep it to you real. If you're doing great, they'll let you know, oh, you're the best, whatever. I walk through the crowd, I walk through the stands, I walk through the, hey, Dale, what's up? And when something's bad, like, Dale, I'm gonna let you know, that outfit ain't hitting. Yo, that ain't working.
Despite the harshness of Miami fans, the heart of UM's student section goes hard for their Hurricanes. And when I saw Sebastian jump in with the college kids, I knew I had to find out what I was missing in the front row.
I'm here trying to bring the rest of the student section together, bring the noise, bring the energy, help the Canes.
Speaking of noise energy.
Go Canes! So they say go green, go white. We say can't read, can't write.
You can't do that.
Many Miami fans make their way out of the game past halftime, but these students prove their loyalty.
It's all about the youth. It's all about
I'll have to say, the Hurricane student section is hype. Now hold up. That's cute and all, but let's rewind this. Because if I want to truly enjoy the fan experience down in South Florida,
Get everyone
I need to
pumped
do some
up.
research.
Oh, other foot.
I made a quick, much-needed stop on campus to be
No, other
fully
way.
prepared to be a Cane fan. Because the excitement at a football game doesn't just come from the play on the field.
So in order to have the best fan experience, we have to learn from the best leading it. Follow me. All right, we are here with some of the Canes cheer squad members. How important are you guys to the game day experience for fans?
I think we are very important, honestly. You know, we're always holding up our signs, always encouraging the fans to chime in with us. Fans, you know, really feed off our energy as well.
Throughout this practice, can you guys teach me a couple cheers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about perfect timing, because now it was my turn to get a hand on the pom poms.
Okay, just hold the bar.
And oh yeah,
Straight.
I went all in.
Just the top part. Okay.
From learning chants
This is low-key really hard.
to getting a good workout in
I'm sweating.
to practicing the alma mater.
So y'all do that rain or shine, win or loss, no matter what, right after the game ends? Yeah? Every time? High five, high five.
By hanging with the cheerleaders, I now feel prepared to cheer my Hurricane heart out.
Despite a ton of energy today from all the crowd, everyone is escaping the stadium right now because, well, it really is hurricane season and it's actually raining on the Hurricanes parade.
With rain plus Michigan State handing the Hurricanes their first home loss of the season, fans began leaving early.
Nonetheless, I had the best experience being a Cane fan for the day, traveling to the tailgate, having some croquetas, sitting in the student section, cheering loud and proud with all the Hurricane fans, and of course just being able to experience this Cuban culture, Miami culture, and all the greats of Miami today at Hard Rock Stadium. That's all I have from now in Miami, but looking forward to visiting FSU and Florida next for more of Cam on Campus. Stay tuned. From one ACC school to the next, we arrive here at Florida State University in Tallahassee, Florida. The Seminoles take on Syracuse today at 3:30 p.m. And compared to the Canes in Coral Gables, campus is actually crowded. This, of course, mainly due to the fact that the stadium is actually on campus here at FSU. Now, heading into today's game day experience, let's check out the conditions we must consider.
Condition number 1 is the Seminoles season record. This 2021 team is 0-4 on the season. Will fans continue showing up for the games, or is the hope lost?
Condition number 2 is the unaccessibility of their mascot. Now this is really because their mascot is actually a highly regarded and respected Seminole symbol.
Since 1978, a student has dressed in the Seminole tribe of Florida's authentic regalia, portraying the famous Seminole warrior Osceola. Before the game, Osceola rides on an Appaloosa horse into the stadium, planting a flaming spear into the middle of the field. Because of the honor placed on this Seminole symbol, Osceola and Renegade are quite exclusive. In fact, this is the only footage I caught pregame. A quick video on my iPhone, barely showing Renegade's nose out of the trailer while arriving at the stadium.
Now, I may not be able to hang out with Osceola and Renegade today, but let's see if I can catch up with the cheerleaders after a while.
And our continual college campus condition, COVID. It might make fans cautious of coming, but there are no mask mandates or social distancing guidelines to be followed today. So, like the Miami game, I don't think it'll have a significant effect on the game day experience.
One condition that might bring extra fans into the stadium today is that it is family weekend here at Florida State, and the game day experience has been great so far, from a 5K in the morning to tailgating all afternoon. In fact, let's head over and check them out now.
Immediately, I noticed the Manassa family's tailgate. And when I saw cornhole, I had to get in on the action.
What's your favorite part about getting together for game days?
I like the fact that everybody comes from all over different parts of the state and pretty much parts of the country, and we meet up and we're able to do that 6 or 7 times a year.
I love it. What's your favorite part about game day?
Food.
I mean, he's not the only one.
What would you describe the culture is like being an FSU fan?
It's very happy, energetic, and sometimes sad.
And sometimes sad, but ride or die, you're always an FSU fan?
Yes, ma'am.
Continuing walking across campus, country music plays, cold ones are cracked open, and crowds are gathered. And this Gatorhead wasn't the only skull I spotted.
I think I might have just found the oldest fan here. Check this guy out. All right, tell me about your friend.
It's Grateful Fred.
And is this a tradition you've been doing, or is this first year?
No, it's a tradition, about 3 years.
And why did this tradition start? Where'd you come up with this idea to bring a skeleton decked out in Florida State gear to the game?
Well, we bought it for decorations around the house, and so we just bring them with us.
And you said, why not repurpose?
Right.
From Grateful Fred to food. Florida State's food selection was typical tailgate foods, chips and Chick-fil-A. And the tailgaters themselves are typical FSU fans too, with an obvious love for their school.
We go tradition to tradition, family generation to family generation. It's just all about the community. And Florida State, it doesn't get any better.
Game days on campus cultivate inclusivity, offering family-friendly activities from the big drum, obviously I couldn't resist.
Look what I found.
To the Seminole Village.
Thank you very much. Back on Langford Green, nice day.
At Seminole Village, fans can find FSU apparel for sale, fun games for prizes, and axe throwing. I sat out of this one for fear I'd look like, well, that guy. For more engagement, the cheerleaders even wandered around interacting with fans. I found some Spirit Squad members outside of the stadium and took advantage of the opportunity of some Seminole 101 cheer lessons. FSU. The dancers also taught me that FSU game day is more like game weekend in Tallahassee.
We have Madison Street, and that's where we have our Friday night block parties, and we have performers who come, and everybody shows out, and it's like a huge like block party concert. And then the marching chiefs come, and they get the crowd pumped up and get ready for Saturday game day.
Next up, the Legacy Walk. Regarding the interaction with fans, this is the players and coaches' favorite part of game day.
It's incredible. From the minute we get off the bus to there for the Legacy Walk, I mean, to be able to walk through our fan base and just to see the excitement, the marching chiefs, the cheer and palm. I mean, it's a great kickoff to what an incredible game day atmosphere is.
And it was pretty crazy. But when I got off the bus and I seen all those people on the side of Dobbs Campbell Stadium, it was crazy. Like, it gave me chills. Like, I was ready to play right then and there.
And to me, the coolest part of Legacy Walk is not even the walk itself. Right after the team enters the stadium, the Marching Chiefs drumline continues playing in a green space nearby. It's like an intimate, private concert focused specifically for the Florida State fans. And clearly, the fans love it too. With a few final pregame photo ops, it's time to head into Dobbs Campbell Stadium.
The most storied tradition in all of college football.
With the spear in the ground, it is game time. And what does that mean? The chop. And lots of it, by everyone. Little kids, employees, students, the entire stadium, the entire time. And even the fans who are frustrated, checked out, and plain shocked that their team is doing well, or could kind of care less, they're still engaged. And that's whether it's the chop, whether it's this country doodad here, the YMCA, or the Sugar Hill Gang's Jump On It. And with a little help from the Spirit Squads and band, the energy stays up all game. Even the little ones are trying their best to see the excitement. And what's better than little girls in cute cheerleading uniforms? Old men dressed as Seminoles? I don't know about that, but I do know that there are some spirited fans. From the fits to the paint. But no one beats the Garnet and Gold guys. And I had a chance to catch up with the glistening men before the game. Where did your motivation to cover yourself in glitter come from?
It's actually a long-standing tradition here. We're a part of BCM, the Baptist Collegiate Ministries. Two guys, two idiots are always chosen to do this. We paint it for every single home game and a bunch of away games too. We're always just happy to be a part of it, and we're just here to show our school spirit.
What's your favorite part about FSU game day?
Oh, just the atmosphere. I mean, you're looking at one of the greatest stadiums to be at here, and just a long story tradition of being at Florida State. And I mean, yeah, sure, we're at a rougher time, but just the tradition and just everything that surrounds Florida State and its athletic program is just incredible. It's part of the reason you want to come here as a student. I've been a fan my whole life, so being able to come here and not only just come here, but to represent a long-standing and very famous tradition is just incredible. So there's no better place to be than Florida State. So.
And if you think I wouldn't be catching up with them again, oh no. Next stop, the Seminole student section.
Our students are incredible. The energy that they bring, it's something that our players truly feed off of. And so, they definitely, it makes it for a great atmosphere to play in, but also just a wonderful experience to be a part of.
So, I became a part of it. Join with you. I'll join with you. FSU knows!
Okay, so you went to every single game last year. What keeps you coming back?
Definitely not the winning record. My parents both went here, so I just grew up always loving Florida State. So it's just kind of like a win or lose thing. I try to get out here and just support them, and it's always fun because you got like friends to hang out with, and so it's really great.
And on that touchdown celebration note, I think my time in the student section is complete. But the excitement had just begun, because what happens after I leave? As time expires, FSU attempts a 34-yard game-winning field goal. And it went a little like this. Florida State wins their first game of the season. The best part? Right here. The players storming the student section. This is what it's all about. The support of the fans reciprocated with the love of the players. After a literal round of applause, hugs, claps, and celebration, it's time for the alma mater. As the song ends, security takes over, and game day comes to a close. That's a wrap on my time here at FSU. The band is still bumping next to me. But guys, talk about an incredible fan experience. I mean, seriously, a game tied 30-30 in the fourth quarter, down to the wire, and a field goal to win it all by FSU. We had the team storming the field, the team players jumping into the student section. I was able to stand by and capture it all, and it was an absolutely incredible fan experience today here at FSU. Next stop is Florida. Let's see what we got. Gainesville, Florida, home of the Florida Gators. You all know the drill by now, so I'm gonna get right into the conditions. Starting off on a high note, what might bring more fans to the stadium today is that it is the FSU-Florida rivalry game. Condition number 2, per usual, is the concern of COVID. However, based on their attendance topping 90,000 this season, I don't think that's keeping any Gator fans from coming to the game. Now, what might keep Florida Gator fans away from the stadium this weekend is the context of this Florida Gator football season. They started off with a heartbreaking yet hopeful 2-point loss to number 2 ranked Alabama, but then they went on to lose at Kentucky, lose at LSU, lose at South Carolina, barely make it across with a win against FCS team Samford, and then just last week they lost in overtime at Missouri, leading to the ultimate firing of head coach Dan Mullen. It'll be interesting today to see how Florida Gator fans show up, especially with a lack of a winning schedule and a lack of a head coach. Condition number 4 might impact the content you see from me today. This is the access I'm granted. Unfortunately, I won't be permitted to sit in the student section, film from the field, chant with the cheerleaders, or hang out with the real Albert and Alberta. But I will certainly be checking out the tailgates, which I saw covering campus, from the streets to the parking lot. And Gator Nation showed up for the chilly noontime game well in time to check out Florida's fan zone, similar to FSU's Seminole Village.
We'll see if the Gators can right the ship today inside a sold-out swamp.
And that concern about fans showing up, I think that just flew out the window considering the announcer said this game is sold out. As the clock ticked closer to kickoff, campus started filling up and fans flocked to the stadium for Florida's Gator Walk, where Albert and Alberta greeted their Gator guests, intentionally engaging with the fans. And the real MVPs? The assistants making it all happen. When the cheerleaders arrived, they did the same, taking time to talk with fans. And by the looks on these little girls' faces, they made them feel significantly special. Once the band came out, the crowd began to come alive. And when the cheerleaders head out, that only means one thing: the team has arrived. Interim head coach Greg Knox leads the team into the stadium, and the players show just about as much engagement as the mascots. As the cheers died down, some fans made their way to the stadium while others returned to the tailgates. I followed the latter. In one lot, I spotted a 1959 Ford F500 short school bus that had a crowd of people hanging around it. Owner Blair Hensley gave me the backstory, saying not only is this bus a piece of eye candy that attracts customers into his restaurant, the Florida Cracker Kitchen, but also serves as school transportation for his child during the week. And on game days, it's the tailgating spot with food to feed all the fans.
We made some homemade chicken salad with some pecans and cranberries on top. Then also something called Florida Cracker Shrimp, which is like a shrimp ceviche with fresh oranges. You know, we're just sitting here having a good time. And we even brought the legendary Dan Mullet. This is his last game at the University of Florida.
You even have a sign over here that says, "Get your last picture with Dan Mullet." So I'm assuming you've been to every game?
No, I've been to some games. I've been to a few games, but not as many as Dan himself. But I'm coming to more, and Dan's not, so.
After the interview was interrupted by a fellow Florida friend, I decided it was time to continue through the tailgate. And that wasn't the only decked out ride. From life-size Gators and orange and blue buses to this family's custom tailgate grill. The Broach family has had this for years, but it has been coated in baby blue for the Citadel, the parents' alma mater. They became Florida Gator fans when their daughter enrolled at UF this fall. So they went all in, revamping the trailer from top with a flowing flag to the bottom with custom turf. Logos and photos wrap around the trailer, and Mrs. Broach told me they actually had to Google iconic Gator moments as they had never cheered for Florida before. This tailgating trailer is iconic as can be, and I'm excited to see what comes out of the next 3 years as they are clearly off to a great start. And for the next hour or so, fans went into the stadium to make it just in time for kickoff. Later, I found 2 students coming out during the first quarter. So we took a little boat ride around the swamp. Before getting into the interview, why the boat? Well, the driver is from New Orleans. That was enough to bring the boat to Gainesville. He gives a handful of fans rides around campus, and when I asked him if this was an every weekend type of thing, he said, "Nope, I'm lazy." So I lucked out in finding the ride and these students who told me why they were in the boat instead of the stadium.
It's just like low-key with like Dan Mullen. He just got fired. Like low-key kind of awkward. Like I don't know who's gonna win. Like I don't want to be there. Like
despite her hesitation to cheer on her Gators this weekend, she brought her love for Florida back around.
you know what? Regardless of what's on the scoreboard, we're winning.
We're always winning. They're like,
let's go Gators.
Let's go Gators, and let's go into the game. There's one major repeated theme when it comes to games at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. You know, what was that atmosphere like playing in the swamp?
Just crazy, extremely loud.
We easily have the closest sidelines to the field, which makes it that much louder.
There ain't much louder stadium in the country.
The stadium is built here that you're so close to the field that for players and visiting fans and visiting teams, they're right on top of you.
There's not a stadium I've ever been on the field of that felt louder in the game. The first 30 rows are single step. The second 30 rows are double steps. And the third 40 rows are like 2 1/3 or 2 1/2 steps. But what that did was like everyone was closer to the stadium than anywhere else. Like because of that, everyone's screaming and coming down and like it would filter in and just hit you like a sonic wave.
The volume starts at the beginning with the traditional 2-bits cheer started in 1949 by George Edmondson.
George went around to each student section, and at each section in the stadium, people would go crazy for it until it became just such a big deal that it was center stage and the whole stadium was doing it, 90,000 people.
Since Edmondson's retirement and passing, Florida hosts honorary Mr. 2-bits each game, from former football legends to Florida Gator Olympians. And on our Zoom call, the cheerleaders even showed me their bit of 2-bits.
2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1. All for the Gators. Stand up and holler.
Okay, that's so cool. And from 2-bits to Tom Petty, it just keeps getting louder.
One of the things that's most intriguing for me is the whole Tom Petty tribute that we do at the end of the third quarter. Tom Petty's from Gainesville, and so at some point along the way, we played that between the third and fourth quarter, I think just after his death.
Not only was Petty raised in Gainesville, but he actually worked as a groundskeeper at UF. So as Jacob said, 5 days after his unexpected death in 2017, the Gators played during the game as a tribute to the Gainesville great. Since it has been a clear crowd favorite.
Nighttime, everybody lights up their phones, everybody sings it. It is really a great point of pride and unity for the Gator Nation.
And it's awesome to see not only the fans involved, but the players, the coaches,
everybody's
anyone
involved.
In the stadium.
They are, Cameron. Everyone's involved.
And the fans' involvement in all 4 quarters is fully appreciated from the players on the field.
Great day to be a Gator, man. We had 90K in the swamp. They helped us out a lot, man. Hey, thank y'all for back in the swamp. Man, we couldn't did it without y'all. Hey, what this is?
Hey, y'all know my slogan by now. It's a party every Saturday. I told you that. Stop acting surprised.
And just like that, my party in Gator Nation comes to an end.
All right, now let's break down the games and input the statistics, because I'm not just creating memories, I'm quantifying them. We're gonna look up the 5 main categories that sum up a fan's game day experience: pre-game festivities, tradition, loyalty, the student section, and the appreciation of fans. Let's begin.
Pre-game. In order of experiences, let's start with Miami. With UM's high energy at tailgates, crowd at Cane Walk, and Cuban culture on display, they get 4 out of 5 footballs. Moving on to FSU, with their family atmosphere, mass crowd, legacy walk, party on Madison Street the night before, and Seminole Village, the Noles nailed the pregame experience and get a solid 5 footballs. As for the Gators, they compared closely with FSU, the family scene at tailgates and fan zone, but I felt their Gator Walk was so spread out that if you were closer to the stadium like I was, thinking that would be the place to be as the team walked in, you really missed out on the excitement of the band and cheerleaders, so the Gators get 4 footballs. Moving on to the second statistic, tradition. At Miami, I found it's tradition for the players to rock the buses at Cane Walk, but there doesn't seem to be that much tradition in place by Hurricane fans. Everyone just kind of does their own thing. Because of this, the Canes come in with 3 footballs on this stat. FSU, on the other hand, notably has the Chop, the Golden Garnet guys, and Chief Osceola and Renegades pregame performance. This awards them with a top score of 5 footballs once again. Florida also competes strong in this category and earns 5 footballs because of their iconic Tom Petty, Boys of Florida, and Two Bits moments. Next up, loyalty. Fan attendance and involvement weigh heavily here. Starting with some concrete evidence, let's look at the numbers. Viewing stadium capacity and attendance, Florida clearly stands out. Not only do they hold the most fans at 88,548, but check out Ben Hill Griffin's percentage full, 99.9%. The Gators clearly win this contest. Another factor within loyalty is the fans' involvement. Once they're in the stadium, how do they act? At Miami, we know they show up, show out, and show off their apparel, but we also saw the harsh Hurricane culture on display. At FSU in Florida, in 2 major seasons of loss, the fans showed up, fully engaged, so all things considered in fan loyalty, Miami earns a 3, FSU a 4, and UF a 5, thanks to the crowd attendance heavily weighing in as proof. Next, we have the student section. Because we already looked at fan attendance, I won't be analyzing the size of student section. Instead, the time I had while I was there. Truthfully, I had the most fun in Miami student section with the Canes creating opposing cheers on the spot to tease Michigan State. So I give my alma mater a 5 for this. FSU was lively, the students so nice, and the Chop constant, but that was really it. Most of my time with the Noles was spent golf clapping. They earn a 4. And UF, we knew going into the game that my access was going to affect my experience. However, having heard fantastic things about their student section, along with the involvement in Tom Petty's I Won't Back Down, I will give them a 3. Basically, participation points to avoid penalizing them for my limited access. Lastly, we look at the love, the appreciation of the fans. Miami, I have to say, It's not the best look to see the players after a frustrating loss escaping the stadium and avoiding the alma mater with your fans. At least the coaches brought them back, and thankfully their interviews redeemed them for 3 footballs. For FSU, their combined interviews, student section salute, and the cheerleaders' attention to fans earned them yet another 5 footballs. And Florida? Considering their interviews, video of the players about the impact of 90K in the swamp, and mascots and cheer engagement, they too earned 5 footballs. Miami totals with a score of 18, Florida State brings in 23, and Florida 22.
The thing is, stats aren't always the full story. Remember, I'm a Miami Hurricane. I played volleyball at Miami, I coached at Miami, I'm a double cane from Miami, earning both my undergrad and grad degrees from the U. I bleed orange and green. So stats aren't the full story. But they also don't lie. So I gotta say, go Noles! 3 games and months of deliberation, and Florida State University officially has the best college football fan experience in the state of Florida. Where should I go next? You tell me. Submit your school and I might just see you on game day in the fall of 2022. I'm Cameron Dobbs, and this is Cam on Campus. Love that. I'm about 6'2", just a little. I can squat. Good luck getting that paint off later.
It's never coming off.
What is this called? Grill. You have this. Thank you. I tried to do something that wouldn't be like poopy everywhere because it's so hot.
What's your game day routine look like now?
Well, just show up and eat. That's all I do. I mean, my body's a temple. You gotta take care of it and feed it.
Journalism degree, Florida. That's what they got me. Nosy.
Back, do you play football too? No. No? Okay. And do you have a favorite Florida football player?
No.
Something these Miami fans.
Is this a fly on the camera?